Good afternoon. My name is Ken Anderson. I am the interim provost at Gonzaga University, and it's my privilege to welcome you all to the Class of 2020 ceremony. Please be seated. On behalf of the university, I'd like to extend a special welcome to the families and friends of our graduates, especially all the moms that are present here today, many of whom have traveled far to join in the public celebration of our students' achievements. Your support has been invaluable to the trials this class faced during the pandemic and in their educational journeys. We are grateful to have you here with us to honor the accomplishments of the class of 2020. One of the unfortunate effects of the COVID-19 pandemic is that we were not able to celebrate this class with an in-person commencement. In September of 2020, we held a virtual ceremony with the hope of bringing you back to campus for an in-person event much sooner. We thank you for your patience with us and your input as we navigated the challenges of the pandemic. Today, we recognize each and every one of you with a moment on stage to celebrate your graduation and to formally welcome you into the ZAG alumni community. We begin our program this afternoon in honor of our Native ancestors, followed by an invocation and then the singing of our national anthem. Please rise and remain standing for our opening activities. In the spirit of the Jesuit practice of composition of place, we acknowledge that Gonzaga University resides on the homelands of the Spokane tribal people. This land holds the cultural DNA and the spirit of the first people of this place, the people of the river. It is their ancestors who are here and bring forth the power of this place, the knowledge that comes from the land. We are grateful to be on this land, and we ask for its support as we work to manifest our intentions during this gathering of hearts, minds, and spirits. It is now my privilege to introduce Father Tim Clancy of the Society of Jesus, who will lead us in prayer.
Well, did you ever think this day would come? Pretty late for a commencement, but on the other hand, pretty early for a class reunion, right? So I can't imagine what it must have been like to miss your last couple months of college. You left campus on spring break, and then you disappeared. Now, I remember that first week was pretty great, another week of vacation. But then the grind began. Wall-to-wall Zoom classes in your bedroom, if not on your bed, if not in your pajamas. And talk about lack of closure. No graduation parties at Jack and Dan's, no academic procession, to the accompaniment of bagpipes, no big fanfare before proud family and friends, and worst of all, no opportunity to hug and say goodbye to close friends, some that I'm sure will be lifelong friends, some may even be spouses. Right? So, I just want to say, you guys took a bullet for us boomers and your Gen X parents. We're the ones that were at greater physical risk, but you took on the greater psychological risk. Isolating rather than socializing, studying, playing, and perhaps partying with your cohort. So on behalf of Gonzaga's faculty and staff, we want to recognize what you have endured and what you have achieved in spite of all that COVID could throw at you. Your graduation is a testament not only to your intelligence, but to your grit, to your perseverance, and your resilience. More than ever, your Gonzaga degree over these trying times has schooled you not only in skills and in knowledge, but in wisdom and grace. You have a better sense of what matters and what doesn't so much matter than most college graduates, thanks to the last couple of years. And today we gather to recognize your achievement, recognition we all know is long overdue.
Thank you, Father Clancy. Now please welcome Jonah Ryder, class of 2025, and a member of the a cappella group, the Big Bing Theory, to lead us in the national anthem of the United States.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Jonah Ryder, and my apologies for mispronouncing your last name the first time. Please be seated. Dr. Thane McCullough is Gonzaga University's 26th president. His academic discipline is psychology, and he received his bachelor's degree from Gonzaga and his Doctor of Philosophy degree from Oxford University. Dr. McCullough has served Gonzaga University in numerous positions over his nearly 30 years of professional engagement with the university. A nationally recognized leader in Jesuit higher education, Dr. McCullough brings to the role of president extensive knowledge and skill and a passionate commitment to the mission of Gonzaga University. Please join me in welcoming Gonzaga University President, Dr. Thane McCullough.
Thank you, Provost Anderson. Faculty, colleagues, administrators, distinguished family members, honored guests, and most especially you, our graduates of the class of 2020. It is a privilege to be with you. It is a privilege to have you back on campus, those of you who have been able to make it, and for those who may be joining via distance, we include you in our well wishes as well. I do want to take an opportunity to recognize that in addition to this special gathering, this opportunity of coming together, it is indeed Mother's Day. And so may I ask all those who are mothers here present, if you would please rise and let us acknowledge you. It is so good to have you back with us, to have this opportunity in person at long last, to have a chance to be together and to acknowledge your success and your achievements. We recognize that from the outset, trying to figure out how to bring the class of 2020 back together again has been a goal which eluded us for too long. But I hope through the opportunities to come together and socialize over this weekend that those of you who did choose to make the journey back have felt it was worth the wait. And we hope, too, today is an opportunity to bring some measure of closure to your undergraduate or graduate experience. We certainly have been looking for this opportunity as well as a community. It would be easy, in fact, easier, perhaps as a coping strategy, to pretend that the last 2 years didn't happen. But we all know that your graduation year ended probably more abruptly than any year in the academic history of Gonzaga University. None of us could have foreseen, even as we watched from afar, the evolution of this pandemic, just what havoc it would wreak on our communities, our nation, and around the world. I personally remember being in Las Vegas at the West Coast Conference tournament when we got the word that we might not be able to reopen. That was the beginning of something that we hope might be a few weeks, possibly a few months. But look at it. Things still happening. It's still moving through our global community. So I want to share with you that as I and my colleagues imagine ways that we might try to find a way to come together, maybe later in the summer, maybe in the fall, we also had to try to find ways to keep our morale up, because graduations are the culmination. They are, in effect, the whole point in some ways, ceremonial though they may be. So, that is the acknowledgement. But we also acknowledge that a lot of other things have happened in the meantime. And so, I want to say this. First and foremost, thank you. Thank you for investing the time and the energy and the resources to make the trip back here to Spokane. Thank you for making the commitment to be present and to take an opportunity together, in some cases, with friends and family, in other cases, perhaps solo, to rejoin this community and to mark the occasion of all that you accomplished here at Gonzaga. So when we usually say at commencement, you made it, I say again, you made it and we're grateful. When I was a little kid, the only thing I ever wanted to be was an airline pilot. I was inspired by a flight that I took with my grandmother from Southern California to New York when I was 6 years old. And we traveled on a mighty 747 jet. In those days, if you were a little kid, you were well behaved, you could visit the cockpit while the plane was in flight. Whoa. I was captivated by the idea that someone could make something that was so enormous, so heavy, leave the earth and take flight. You engineers and physicists, you understand how this works better than some. Inspired by that image, I invite you to fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in the upright and locked position. Because we are here to celebrate. And because at the moments of celebration, whenever they occur, they mark important turning points, conclusions, and beginnings. A long time ago, I think it was about 10 or 12 years ago, way back in March or April of 2020, I was interviewed for a podcast by members of your class. I was asked to share some wisdom for graduating seniors who were honestly mourning the fact that they knew by then we weren't going to be able to have graduation. And that was just the capstone to a whole lot of other things that weren't going to happen, that would otherwise have been in person. I asked the seniors, those graduates, to imagine themselves not in their 20s or their 30s, but in their 80s, telling the story of this time to their great-grandchildren. And the little kids would say, "Tell us about the time you lived through a pandemic." And you'd say, "All right." And then they'd say, "Nana's going to tell us about the pandemic." "All right, well, I was just a whippersnapper." The point that I tried to make in the podcast, and that I'd want to share with you, is that from this time and these experiences, you all have things to share that you would not otherwise be able to. And we see you as they will see you. No longer Gonzaga students, but wiser, more seasoned and experienced Gonzaga alumni. In the face of adversity, scary and sometimes stressful circumstances, suffering did occur, can occur, does occur. But as we watch this class through the remainder of that spring, we recognize that even in the face of instantaneously adverse experiences. Human beings find ways to innovate. They do this because human beings at a fundamental level are oriented towards survival and recapturing and regaining the opportunity to thrive. And so you are wisdom people who have much to teach the generations that will come that will know nothing of what the beginning and the middle part of this pandemic were like at all. Now, if you can think back before the pandemic to when you began your time at Gonzaga and imagine the things that you wanted to set out to try and accomplish. Think about how much of that you originally planned for yourself you were actually successful in achieving. Because your class, in a way that will go down in history as unique and remarkable in the annals of Gonzaga, you taught us at the same time that your faculty were trying to do some teaching on Zoom. You taught us that living in community matters to you. Your decision to return is just the latest example that is a testament to that. You taught us that friendship and living in genuine relationship and living in socially conscious ways are important to you. You taught us something about the power and the meaning of community. You've also taught us that family matters to you. When we were reaching out to try to figure out how to pull this kind of celebration together, many of you said that it's still as important today as it would have been at any other time to have family with you. When we asked, you said, yes, please invite family as well. And you taught us during your time at GU that human dignity matters to you as well. Injustice, systematic injustice, this has been a focus of this class during its time, and the rooting out of that injustice has been a focus. You taught us in ways we never anticipated as we came to the conclusion of your time on campus that you're courageous as well. So, in many ways, even as we work together to try to wrap up your degree, you also were teaching us in new ways about the things that matter the most. I simply want to share with you today that it is our hope that even as we come together now as a community of alumni, it is important that we honor and we recognize the fact that after the conclusion of your formal program of studies, You, each and every one, have gone on to set on new paths, to accomplish new things, to set and chart a new trajectory in your lives, and we know and we want to celebrate that too. Father Greg Boyle, a Jesuit from Los Angeles and a fellow alum of Gonzaga, has come periodically to the campus to visit, and actually was here during your time as well, to visit with students and to talk about his work with those who have been in gangs in Los Angeles and that community. He borrowed a quote and he kind of reframed it that I've hung on to because it's important and meant for an occasion just like this. What he said was, Gonzaga is not the place that you came to. It has always been the place you were meant to go from. And I share that with you because we certainly hope that Gonzaga has played a significant role in the formation of your lives in ways that are positive and constructive, that you gathered together during your time with other students, faculty, staff, and even opportunities to work within the broader community. A sense of the narratives and stories that are meaningful to you. But whenever we mark the occasion, like a graduation or a commencement, what we're really acknowledging is all of that is in service to the thing next, the thing beyond, the journey that just begins at that moment. So, here are the things that I would want to share with you that hopefully you gained from your time and you can continue to take with you as we move forward. The first is this: continue to nurture the people that are important to you. The poet Maya Angelou said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Life, especially perhaps life lived during a pandemic, is filled with twists and turns, tragedies and triumphs. But we now know and we recognize in a deeper way that navigating these challenges is made infinitely more possible with the love and the support of people who will stick with you through thin and thick. So continue to nurture your most important relationships. Second, out of this really challenging period of time, there's tremendous social upheaval. One of the lessons we've always hoped that Gonzaga grads take from their time is this one: try to find a vocation that makes you happy. A lot of people sacrifice their happiness in the interest of gaining wealth or gaining status. But in the end, your ability to live well, it is somewhat tied up in what makes you fulfilled. Finding what gives you joy, what gives you fulfillment, it will make you happier. It will also make the others around you happier as well. Third, the great gift of a Gonzaga education, the great gift of higher education at a very high level is the raising of awareness. If you listen to the voices that are rampaging across social media and traditional media on a daily basis. The world has become a darker, more cynical, and more distrustful place. Perhaps it's the ease with which people can trash others on social media. Maybe it's because everyone has had their vulnerabilities laid bare during this pandemic, and it's easy to prey on people's vulnerabilities. But education, higher education, teaches us not to get distracted, to remain focused on the reality that every day of our lives is a sequence of choices. We make choices about whether to build people up or whether to tear them down. We choose whether to speak up in the face of injustice or to remain silent. Education is about knowledge, but it's also about awareness. Through your education, we hope you feel empowered, and we hope that you use that superpower coming out of this time of displacement and frustration to continue making this world a better and better place. This fourth lesson is the one I've extracted from your spring. When the going gets tough, keep going. There's an uncomfortable degree of uncertainty in life. We have far less control over life and over the future than any of us really wants to admit. But a pandemic will certainly make that clear. Here's the thing that Zags always do. They don't let uncertainty become inertia. They do keep going. Your class could have walked, but you didn't. You stuck with it. You made up assignments. You took extra time. You stayed engaged. You supported one another. You have to understand there are many people who, in the face of adversity, simply give up. And we could not be prouder of the fact that you did the exact opposite. You persisted. So, the final lesson from Gonzaga. Never forget that from our perspective, you are a gift from God. Why that is important is that not only is it the case that each and every one of you is precious and unique and individual, but because you have the power through your wisdom and your knowledge and the lessons you've learned, not only at Gonzaga, but now in these several years following it, you have the power to impact this world in important and meaningful ways for the rest of your life. And we want to claim you as Zags for the rest of your life. Because as part of this larger, now worldwide community of Gonzaga grads, we believe you each will play a role in building a better world. The importance and the significance of the education that you invested in and the credential that you earned at Gonzaga is yes for you, but it is also for this world that today, more desperately than it ever did before the pandemic came, needs you. So, just as you have reflected in your time during this weekend, we ask that you stay connected. Stay connected to us, stay connected to one another. Continue to find ways of gathering together, part of our alumni chapter network, part of our occasional reunions, but in as significant a way, help other people as well to stay connected with you, because you are the mission embodied. The bestowing of your degrees, your credential, is a representation of what it means to look at all the things that you did and all the ways in which you were engaged and make that manifest out into the world. And we could not be more proud of each and every one of you. Thank you for returning to Gonzaga this weekend, and let it be just the first of many opportunities in the years to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. McCullough. Class of 2020, it's time to celebrate all of you. I invite Amber McKenzie to come forward and read the names of the 2020 alumni. As we call your name, please come forward to cross the stage. I'll hand you a gift and then proceed down the stairs, carefully, for your photo with Dr. McCullough on the university seal. We ask the audience to please hold your applause until all names have been read.
Megan Marling. Matthew Mai. Kevin Makins. Leslie Luna Lopez. Dawn Moline. Daniel McCarville. Kayla McMenemy. Thomas McDonald. Molly McDade. Jason McLeod. Dorian Wynn. Patrick Murray. Alina Morvis. William Nicholson. Amanda Oliver. Priya Osborne. Laura Lynn O'Brien Wilson. Jack Oberly. Richard Niambota Day. Jack O'Connell. Sophia Pangallo. Carla Partita Castro. Joseph Donald Perry. Miguel Robledo, nephew of trustee Christine Johnson. Michaela Louise Perry. Vincent Retke. Matt Raftis. Mason, please. Olivia Ramirez. Ethan Pangelinin. Brooklyn Pop. Amanda Rice. Sydney Schmidt. Amanda Schulte. Dean Saranac. Ruby Rodell. Darian Schneider. Andreas Rubio. Isaac Ruiz. Ryan Schaefer. Thomas Schmidt. Mark Sisk. Shreya Shukla. Julia Stark. Janessa Tolman. Luke Sparks. Lin Hui Tan. Patrick Seminator. Gayleen Weaselchild. Jesse Ward. Stephanie Updike. Hallie Kogan. Nicholas Walker. Daniel Weaver. Josie Sullivan. Diego Valdez Gomez Garcia. Peyton Wade. Thomas Walters. Brian Torsney. Elena Jones. Jamelia Dickens. Kristen Miller. Mary Sherhart. Cynthia Slotvig Carrie Young. Matthew Williams. Gavin Weiler. Casey Wilson. Conrad Weeks. Linda Yamamoto. Kristen Marie Winningham. Scott Yonker. Jeff Ferguson. Amelia Adams. Willeen Whipple. Adrian Platero. Gabrielle Abu. Jacqueline Baca. Emily Arneson. Jasmine Bando. Danielle Boggs. Vincent Bennett. Amber Bernardi Kim. Larissa Caldera. Robert Bruscotter. Michael Calmette. Christina Buckingham. Tanner Chick. Catherine Campbell. Braden Charbonneau. Ramy Del Planche. Trevor Dumais. Michael Churchyard. Madison Doherty. Nicole Creamer. Adam Davidoff. Clancy Dietz. Charles DeBias. Ethan Durbano. Kevin Flanagan. Teresa Ekdahl Johnson. Daniel Zanitis. Kyle Everly. Samuel Fight. Megan Frazier. JJ Ferris. Caitlin Fernandez. Andrew Flagstead. Jackson Elsizer. Ben Gibson. Simon Forenash. Brian Freeland. Catherine Graham. Taylor Gherkin. Jordan Gonzalez. Gianni Gaglietti. Pearl Griffiths. Dylan Hay. Brendan Harriman. Elizabeth Helmer. Maury Harbick. Sarah Hall. Luke Hartman. Allison Hayes. Jonathan Heap. Joseph Heston. Josephine Honani. Zoe Jaspers. Jackson Horker. Mary Margaret Hubert. Claire Jacobs. Natalie Hunt. Kevin Johnson. Brian Hewson. Simone Humedes Dualde. Benjamin Hogan. Darby Howitt. Mireya Jimenez Magana. Abigail Holdnack. Vincent Lombardi. Ryan Liddell. Megan Lowry. Andrew Lanou. Jordan Kirsten. Christian Krupp. Devin Klee. Stephanie Colden. Madison James. Grace Lombardi.
On behalf of Gonzaga's academic leadership, distinguished guests, faculty, and staff, it is our honor to present to you Gonzaga's class of 2020. And now, please welcome Executive Director of Alumni Relations, Cara Hertz.
Thank you. I know this is the third time you've seen me this weekend, but I just need to start by echoing what I heard Dr. Anderson say to all of you. Thank you for being here. Through the social last evening, I heard of the lengths you'd gone to be with us today, coming from Maryland, Boston, Missouri, red-eye flights, changing work schedules, parents meeting students here, getting time off of busy new work schedules as well. Thank you for that commitment. And you've shown up with such kindness and gratitude. Our team, our alumni team, has been truly inspired by all of you. So thank you. You were also extremely grateful for the champagne bottles last night. I wanted to first let you know this weekend wouldn't be possible without a committee from your class that advised us throughout a lot of twists and turns. I would love for the committee that helped plan this weekend from the class of 2020 to please stand. Could you help recognize them? Thank you all. Those were some hard Zoom meetings as we navigated a lot, and yet here we are. Okay, so some might say that a commencement marks the closing of a chapter in your life, and that wherever you go from here, your Gonzaga experience is mostly behind you. But I want to assure you that in so many ways, your Gonzaga experience is just beginning. So we're here celebrating the class of 2020, but for a moment, could I ask all alumni here today of any year or degree from Gonzaga to please stand? Sure. And would you remain standing? Yes. Remain standing, please, as we extend a formal welcome to this class. So on behalf of your family here today and the thousands more alumni beyond these walls, it is our distinct pleasure to officially welcome all of you live and in person as Gonzaga University alumni. You bet. Your network, now of more than 65,000 alumni and thousands more parents and friends of the university, extends across the country and across the world. Whether you're here in Spokane or miles away, you are now and forever will be part of ZAG Nation, and your ZAG community will walk alongside you in partnership for your journey. Alumni, feel free to be seated if you're still standing. Thank you. Okay, so from career coaching, networking opportunities, social events, game watches, gathering for the West Coast Conference Tournament, we look forward to celebrating with you in community. And if you haven't yet, connecting with your alumni chapter, your regional chapter, one of 53 across the country, is a great way to start getting involved. And we've just launched our Alumni Affinity Community Program. And as Dr. Reyes shared with you last evening, our Alum of Color community is officially open, and several more affinity communities will follow. So we'll have information on all of these options to stay connected with us at the social immediately following the ceremony. Gonzaga class of 2020, we are honored to celebrate this important moment with you. On behalf of all of us here today, we formally welcome you as our alumni for a lifetime. And now, would you please stand? And if you haven't already, move that tassel to the left. Woo! And class of 2020, in appreciation to the faculty who have guided you and the family and friends who are with you today and who have supported you on your journey, would you please offer them a round of applause in appreciation? Thank you. Following the ceremony, we would like to invite everyone to join us on campus to celebrate. Dessert and champagne will be served on the Herrick Quad at 4 p.m. And following our closing prayer, please remain in your seats and exit with the recessional as you are prompted by the ushers. I would like to invite Father Tim Clancy back. Father Tim Clancy from the Society of Jesus to join me and offer a blessing for the class of 2020. And you can remain standing. Thank you.
So, class of 2020, you belong to a unique worldwide brotherhood and sisterhood. The class of 2020, the class upon whom the world turned upside down, just as your 16-year education was reaching its culmination. Having now finally and formally received the recognition you so richly deserved, I invite faculty, administration, and staff who guided you on your educational journey, and your family and friends who accompanied you on that journey, maybe accompanied you a little closer than you expected, to rise, turn, and join me in extending a hand of blessing over you, our graduates. So, class of 2020, may God bless you and keep you. May the Lord of all, called upon under many names, look lovingly upon you and grace the future spreading out before you. It will be your life's calling to raise the next generation and care, perhaps a little better than we boomers and Gen Xers did, for both a more just society and a cooler planet. May you be men and women of purpose and service, the kind of people the world needs now more than ever, people who care for others and for our dear earth, our common home. Amen.
And with that, that completes our ceremony. Congratulations, everyone, and thank you for being here.